بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمد ونصلي على رسول الكريم أما بعد الحمد لله. We are now on part 14, Spiritual Discourses, discussing the harms of pride. Nabi Akram sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has stated, if three traits are not within a person when he dies, he shall enter Jannah. Number one, pride. Number two, betrayal. And number three, debts. Here Nabi Akram sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is very clear that he's mentioning three things. Pride. And as we have mentioned, that Nabi Akram sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said that a person who has got a mustard seed of pride would not enter into Jannah. Because pride destroys every action. And pride creates arrogance, stupidity, haughtiness, makes a person power drunk. And then betrayal, Nabi Akram sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is talking about. Now betrayal will mean that a person has a hypocritical trait. Because a Muslim is a wa'ada wafa. Nabi Akram sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said about a Muslim, his character trait is that when he makes a promise, he fulfills it. And a hypocrite is a wa'ada khalafa, that when he makes a promise, he breaks it. Now this is so important because betrayal is linked to lying, deception, trickery, robbery, theft. And these days you have professional lying. The person without battering an eyelid will lie. A person will lie in your face. A person will lie straight-faced. A person will lie thinking that this is the truth. And lies are spoken to such an extent that you think this lie is the truth. And betrayal is this lie. That in business, in domestic dealing, in relationship, if a person is lying, is betraying, is breaking the promise, is breaking the treaty. When we talk of treaty and pact, we don't mean now huge files and documentation. No, in our simple life, in our mundane life, that when we talk to people, when we interact with people, when we discuss with people, when we phone people, when we WhatsApp people, when we SMS people, when we email people, all these forms of communication, whatever the means of communication is, a person should not lie. Because this lying is actually betrayal. A person should not say that I can do this. Meanwhile, he got no intention of fulfilling it. A person should not say that, no, I'll get you that product. And he got no intention of getting that product. A person should not say, I'll get that product at a certain price for you. Meanwhile, that person is not interested. He will not get that product. A person should not say that, no, I'll source it for you. Within a week, I'll get it for you. Meanwhile, in the back of the mind, you know, it is 1 week I can never get this product. Why? Because it's not practical, feasible to get it. If you look on communication, whether it is written, whether it is written on the WhatsApp or written in SMS or email, a person should not make promises which he cannot keep. Because that's tantamount to lying and that is betrayal. And Nabi Akram sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is saying that a person who is betraying, then he will not go to Jannah. And this sounds very small, but if a person just has to revise his life, reform his life, change his life, then you will find that inshallah, without lying and deception, there is too much barakat. A person who lies, it is stated that once he starts lying, malaika run away. Malaika run from that gathering. Why? Because honesty is success. Even this honesty, when it is against a person, it will grant him success. That's why honesty, we say, is best policy. Why? Because a person's character, if he's good, he will not have pride, he will not betray, he will not lie, he will not deceive, and he will be an extremely truthful person. A truthful person is always successful. Even when a person is wrong, and if he's truthful, he will come out. He will come out of the difficulty. Because one lie, to cover it up, we'll have to speak another lie and another lie, lies upon lies to cover the first lie. Betrayal, this is the result of lie. Betrayal now will mean also in huge matters also. That you promise that you will buy the land, you don't do it. You promise you will buy the house, you do not do it. You promise you will buy the car, you do not do it. You promise that you will marry in a certain place, you do not do it. You promise that you will buy a building, you do not do it. You promise that you will side with a certain person in a matter of truth, you do not do it. Someone came in and told you, no, don't buy that building, don't buy that car, don't buy into that venture, don't buy that building, don't marry there. Now, the importance and the value of giving your word is no more valued. In those days, we were told that a person gave his word, it was good as gold. Nowadays, when a person signs on the dotted line, it disappears, the ink disappears. Let alone the writing, even the dotted line disappears, documents disappear. To such an extent that matters go to court. Matters go to High Court, Supreme Court. If you look carefully, what is the problem? The person lied, the person betrayed, the person broke the trust. The person said, I'm selling you this property, and in this property, these are the qualities of the property. Both people agree. Then the buyer realizes, oh, what I got is I'm shortchanged. When he goes back, this person says, I never promised you. He said, no, you signed on the dotted line. He says, no, that was by error. Then the whole matter, going to High Court, local court, High Court, Supreme Court, thousands have been lost in the court proceeding. If you look carefully, what was the problem? Betrayal in the trust, betrayal in the transaction, lying in the transaction, deceiving in the transaction. So, if we stop lying, be honest, stop betraying, we'll save thousands of friends. You'll find this, that governments lie to government. Then we'll find that departments lie to departments. And you'll find blaming each other, one department blaming another department, and some colleague blaming another colleague. All this betrayal. So that one person, he wants to curry favor with those in authority. So what he does, he lies. He betrays his colleagues. And he wants to climb the rank of popularity or get into a better position in the company. What he does, he lies. By lying and betraying, this Nabi Akram Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam saying, and a person dies whilst he is lying and betraying and having pride and having debts, he does not go into Jannat. Not going into Jannat, remember, is a great thing. We think, unfortunately, that a person, I'm not going to Jannat, just a small matter. This is severe. To have one moment in Jahannam, a person, the hadith is clear, that person who has a moment in Jahannam will feel that he never ever experienced any comfort, ease, pleasure, joy, delight in his entire life. And if a person experiences one moment in Jannat, one moment, he'll feel that he never experienced any form of difficulty, trial, tribulation, non-comfort in his entire life. That's how severe it is. Then Nabi Akram Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is saying that a person who has got debts, here too, unfortunately, we have taken this matter very light. Whereas there is severe warning. Nabi Akram Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that of a martyr, the one who's made shaheed, that before the blood touches the floor, this martyr is forgiven. That means he is Jannati. Except death. Everything of a martyr is forgiven except death. Can you imagine? The hadith of Nabi Akram Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says a martyr is one on the day of judgment. He will be ready that, Ya Allah, send me back to earth so that I can be martyred in your path, killed in your path, given life, killed in your path, given life, killed in your path. So repeatedly he is prepared to sacrifice his entire life for the pleasure of Allah. A martyr, death is not forgiven. Can you imagine how severe it is? Nabi Akram Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that when he was called to perform Salat Janaza for Sahaba Ikram radiallahu ta'ala anhum ajmaeen, and if they told him, he should ask, in fact, that is this person owing anybody money? If they said yes, he refused to perform Salat Janaza until someone volunteered and said that, Ya Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that I stand responsible for the deaths of this person. Then and then only Nabi Akram Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam should perform Salat Janaza of that person. Can you imagine how severe it is? They are the best of creation, the chief of the Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam, and the best who walked on the surface of the earth, the last and final Nabi, refusing to perform Janaza of a person who is in debt. That is why he is saying here that if a person is in debt, he shall not enter Jannat. So we should be very cautious about this, especially when we've got the means to pay the debt. We've got the means to do every other thing. Extravagant, lavish weddings, eating out every other day, going for Umrah every other day, but not paying the debt. Not addressing the current situation which will lead us to Jahannam. We studied in Darul Deoband. In Darul Deoband, when any student died and the Janaza was brought, then one of the senior Ustads of Darul Deoband, he should make an announcement in front of all present. And when a student died, then irrespective whether you knew the student or not, because when we studied there were 2,500 students, that we talk of 1983 when we completed. Now there is 5,000 students, 2015. However, every student would like to participate in the Janaza. That announcement was made that this student, his name was given, and in which year he was studying, that was stipulated, and where he was staying in the hostel, that was stipulated. And it was said that if the student owed anybody money, please come after Salat Janaza, after burial, to the office, provide your proof and collect your money. Provide your proof and collect your money. This is how they regarded it so seriously, that this student must not be sent off to the Akhirat without all his debts being paid. And today, unfortunately, we take it very lightly. So these three things we should not have: pride, We should not betray, lie, deceive, and we should not have any debts. Inshallah, Allah Ta'ala will put us into Jannah. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.